if ViaSat should focus on competition in the satellite realm, we probably are misguided. Because where we are focusing on is how do we become competitive in terms of bandwidth pricing with terrestrial solutions like, wireless solutions with DSL solutions. If we can get our quality and our efficiency in bits per second to a point where we can compete with the terrestrial solution, I think there's tremendous growth in terms of our market, and I think ViaSat's future would be very bright.
The killer app is really how we look at bandwidth, and we innovate to the other terrestrial networks that we see out there, and then provide these applications driven by these different multi-screens and devices that are doubling every 3 years in consumption. So that's not going to go away. So, for all of us, we have to be able to look out and really tap into the consumption side of the market and decide, what areas we're going to pick out and work on and deliver excellent quality to that marketplace.
I think undoubtedly it will take the set-top box manufacturers, the pay TV manufacturers, time to find that right introduction point for UHD services before they really step up their capacity demands for individual channels. But I think overall, more and more channels, as it stands now, are transitioning from SD to HD. So I think it's twofold really. The SD to HD transition will continue apace. The widening of locally produced content and turnaround content will continue. That I think there's a very healthy industry at the moment associated. So I think we've been seeing pay TV growing at 9 to 10% year on year, and I think that's nicely reflected by the expansion of video-related traffic both through satellite and through IP.
The high-throughput satellite services could have a migration of all non-broadcast services over to high-throughput satellite. That's assuming that those systems are there to be able to handle that kind of demand. And over the long term, and we're talking decades, you could have a separation where there are high-throughput satellites that handle enterprise applications and traditional fixed satellites that address broadcast, because for the long term even, broadcast is still going to be the least expensive way to deliver content on existing fixed satellite services. But for high throughput satellites, there is the advantage of being able to address a lower cost per bit for enterprise type applications. And we could see that happening, but it is a long-term evolution.
If I look in the crystal ball, I would say technology would be more converging and will be less expensive.
Well, clearly, the folks who can take advantage of it first, you're going to look at networks that have that high demand, and you're going to look at aeronautical services, maritime services. Malaysia 370 is a classic case in point. We all have come to recognize we need to be able to manage a great deal more information on aircraft and all forms of transportation. So I would expect you're going to see even more on trains and planes and trucks and cars, and all of that creates demand to use that high throughput capacity in kind of different ways than we've historically seen it.
So we see this being high data, high intensity, again, sort of simplifying a lot of networks, but if there's a broadcast requirement or a broader requirement, it's going to be the traditional kind of fleet. So as we move forward, that's why our methodology is we look at Epic as a layer, as a service layer that we build into the fleet where it's appropriate in the right frequency, right, over the right market for the right customers. It's not a one size fits all, we're going to build 5 of these and that's it.
The satellites that are being launched for a commercial purpose. The infrastructure that's being built is tied to that commercial purpose, and then we're looking and seeing how do we use that for other purposes. So Global Express is a great example. You have a somewhat of a commercial product that is now being offered for military applications, same platform, same sorts of technology on the ground, and I think we're going to continue to see that model progress throughout.
I think we're in the infancy stage of high throughput satellites. They're just being launched in the US. There's two major service providers, and it will continue to evolve. Like any new technology, people will find different ways to use the technology. And I'm sure there'll be concepts that will be invented that we haven't even dreamed of today. So I think it will continue.
We are very proud of our business, people and customers. Our unique infrastructure has been built specifically to deliver a high caliber of service to a world-class set of customers. Our global head office is strategically located north of Stuttgart in Backnang, Germany. Our technical center and teleport benefits from access to uninterruptible power supplies, high-capacity fiber transmission routes, and highly skilled personnel. Pride of ownership characterizes our technical center at Leuk. With the only commercial teleport and technical center in Switzerland, we are positioned to support the very unique challenges of our international clients with global network needs. Our Swiss location was chosen for its superior view of the satellite orbital arc, its superior weather conditions, and its ability to expand with little capital expenditure. High in the mountains of Switzerland, Signalhorn's unique, secure and resilient technical centre provides a platform from which to deliver first-class service to its customers. Signalhorn Trusted Networks.